part in all this is that it's no longer a surprise. MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football. Florida State, Louisiana-Monroe. This would appear to be one of two easy games on the schedule, even for this Florida State team, even for this program and what it's become under Willie Taggart, meaning 5 wins, now 6 wins and 8 losses. I guess we can count this as a win. 6 wins and 8 losses in 14 games under Willie Taggart. Even this, to be kind, marginal, mediocre program, even this against Louisiana-Monroe at home doesn't even come as a surprise anymore to anybody who's really paid attention since game 1 of last year. And game 1 last year was a Willie Taggart offense that was supposed to be dynamic, scoring 3 points against Virginia Tech in the opener. And, of course, we assumed with the Hokies' long-standing track record under Bud Foster, this must be one of his very best defenses. Well, no, it turned out to be Bud Foster's worst defense ever in 30 years, and still good enough to hold Florida State to a field goal. And here we are a year later, and Kendall Briles running the offense after 2 games, and Florida State is still awful. Did they move the ball offensively? They certainly did. James Blackman threw 3 touchdowns. He threw for almost 300 yards. And Cam Akers basically saved the day with a workman-like, workhorse-type performance, setting a school record with 36 carries for 193 yards. Plus, he scored a touchdown through the air. Cam Akers had a number of exceptional runs in this game that saved the day for Florida State. And what really saved the day for Florida State was the place kicker for the Warhawks. Jacob Meeks, I believe, is his name. He missed the extra point in overtime, and that was probably a fair exchange for the $1.65 million that the Florida State football program handed Louisiana-Monroe to make the trip to Tallahassee and scare them to death. But again, I say we shouldn't be surprised at this point. Under 14 games under the guidance of Willie Taggart, I would say that Florida State has played one really solid, strong game start to finish against a good opponent, decent, quality opponent, not a great opponent, in Wake Forest last year, winning by 3 touchdowns. Other than that, they beat, again, another decent team in their division, Boston College, by 1 point last year. Otherwise, they melted down against Miami after taking a 20-point lead. They were annihilated by just about everybody else, even Louisville, the worst team in FBS play, one of the very worst with Rutgers in Oregon State. Even that team would have beaten Florida State had they not given them a gift of a fumble. I know that was last year, but this is the track record, and this is the continuing trend of Willie Taggart's team at Florida State. Last season was full of miscues, uninspired play, and also lack of preparation. Not being prepared for the moment, not being prepared for the situation, not having the units play in cohesion, still having 12 guys on the field, 10 guys on the field, missed assignments, not being able to line up correctly. It's one thing to get beaten. It's another thing to even beat yourself during the course of the action of the play. It's another thing to not even line up correctly. So Kendall Briles takes over the offense, and everything was supposed to be just splendid. And in game number 1 against Boise State, it was for a half. And then there were adjustments made. Good coaching staffs make adjustments. And the Broncos did that at halftime and coming back from 18 down to score, 23 consecutive points. They were down 31-13. They scored, I believe 23-0 to close out the game. And then in this particular game, Florida State was up 24-7. Not a dominant performance, but again, it looked like they had the game well in hand against even more so of an outmanned opponent at home, and they blew it. Well, they didn't completely blow it because Louisiana-Monroe's place kicker blew it. So Florida State didn't make a play to save themselves or win the game. Me and you and about 9 other dudes could line up on the other side of the football and have just stood there and watched the guy miss the extra point. So Florida State didn't make a play to win the game. They just stood around and watched the place kicker lose the game and save them. The state of Florida State football is nearing a pathetic state. No, it's past that. It's at a pathetic state. This is a roster that is comprised of top 15 minimum, top 15 talent. So to say that they've not developed the roster, well, that's a huge understatement, because they're developing rosters at places like Michigan State and Wisconsin, where they take top 40 talent, top 35 talent, and make it top 15 talent. That's really developing. We're not even asking Florida State and Willie Taggart to do that. We're just asking them to go out and play, just let the athletes play and give them a framework and a structure to succeed. And you should be able to dust off the Louisiana-Monroes of the world by 4 touchdowns, or even Vegas, knowing what a dumpster fire, to use that term, Florida State has become, still made them a 22 or 23-point favorite. Even Vegas continues to overestimate Florida State, as they were a touchdown favorite against Boise State and lost by 5. They were favorites many times last season and continue to lose and lose and lose and lose and lose and lose. 5-7 last year, and I only bring that up because it's not going away. They just scraped by Louisiana-Monroe at home. Had they gone to Louisiana-Monroe, who knows what the outcome would have been. Probably would have lost the game. All right, your thoughts on Florida State football. Of course, you can join us every Wednesday night, including this one. It should be a whole lot of fun. And a whole lot of venom from the Florida State crowd that's not real happy with Willie Taggart and what's going on in Tallahassee. Wednesday night, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, our live show, Florida State Seminoles Live, with typically Logan Robinson from Knoll at Game Day, and also Jason Parker from Chop Chat, and myself, and you on the live chat. Again, Florida State Live at 7 o'clock Eastern Time on Wednesday. We want to talk up Florida State football. Please send me your comments, and we will do what we do here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Discuss, debate, analyze, and talk it up with you. We will see you soon.